guys, I'm Ricky Glenn. And well, thank you guys for joining us here. I'm getting ready to have a conversation with three of my most favorite educators. My wife, Carmen, who been teaching first grade and kindergarten for the last 26 years. Next to her is my oldest, Rochelle Nicole Patrina Glenn, who was actually named the Richland County School District 1 Teacher of the Year this year. Woo! Yeah. And next to her is my youngest, Carlinda Renee Denise Glenn. She teaches high school at AC Flora. So you can imagine what it's like for me. I come home every day and I hear it. And then on, any other day that Mrs. Sinkler, which is my oldest name now, she comes in, I don't catch it 2 ways, now I catch it 3 ways. And I get to hear all about what is going on in the classrooms, especially since we've been dealing with this pandemic. So ladies, what's up?
Did you have to say my whole entire name?
Yes, I wanted to give them your government name, man.
Wow.
What's going on in the classroom, ladies?
There's a lot going on in the classroom.
Like what? I mean, come on now. I hear it all the time about trying to teach virtual and trying to teach kids who are there in person, with this hybrid y'all got going on at the same time. Talk to me, what's that like?
Well, yes, it is a new norm for us because we are teaching face-to-face children and we're teaching children who are online as well, and it's a challenge. What do you ladies think?
It's very challenging, especially if you have kids in the classroom and you forget to log on and let your virtual kids on, and then they have to remind you because they send you messages like, hey, we having class today? Oh, yeah, we having class. Hold on, let me get you in. So it's hard trying to navigate through both virtual and face-to-face instruction at the same time.
Now, right here, I want y'all to know something. We've got it covered. We've got primary here. We've got elementary here. And we have high school. Now, I know you're wondering, what about the middle school? Well, we got that covered too because Rochelle has a daughter, my oldest grandchild, that is in middle school. What's happening with her?
Well, it's kind of difficult because they don't have the right mindset when it comes to going to school virtual, and Sarah, of course, is virtual 100% the entire school year, and it's definitely different because they're used to being inside the classroom with their teacher 100% of the time. Now, when those students that are virtual all year, it's just them and their parents. They're on a meeting, they see their teacher I would say maybe 10 or 15% of the time. It's just a meeting. That's the only time they see their student or their teacher. But they have the misconception that my class meeting via Zoom, if that's the platform you're using, or via Microsoft Teams, that is my class time. Once that meeting is over, there's nothing else for me to do, which is not the case. They have to also remember that this is just the teaching part of your class, but once that meeting is over, now it is your responsibility to get your work that your teachers have provided for you, because that's how you get your grade as well. It's not just a meeting, it's also your classwork.
Okay, now I try to put myself in that place, kids, and I'm trying to say, okay, I'm sitting here in front of the computer, I'm supposed to log in, and I am supposed to be listening to the teacher. And I'm trying to imagine what that must be like for a student in school. I mean, they all log in? I mean, do they? Because I'm trying to imagine, I know in the classroom, right? You see me and you can say, okay, Ricky, get your head up, answer the question. But now, you're trying to carry on a conversation and I'm not in the classroom. What's happening there? Do they talk? I mean, do they?
So, some teachers require students to turn their cameras on just for attendance purposes, and they may do things throughout that class meeting where I can ask my students a question and I'll say answer in the meeting chat, and I'll tell them how to answer, whether they can type their answer in, or depending on the question I may say give me a certain emoji in the meeting chat. So that lets me know whether my students are still actively participating in the class meeting or if they've actually walked away from that laptop and they're doing something else.
Now, one of the things I was kind of, concerned about, especially Carmen, with little kids. I mean, you usually do first grade, but now you're doing kindergarten. And I know you told me the other day that you look Hispanic because she has Hispanic kids in her class, told you, I love you. Now, what do you do when these kids want to come up to you and hug you and stuff?
It's hard for them and it's hard for me because I am so used to children hugging me and me touching them and helping them and getting really close. But we still explain to them the importance of the pandemic and being social distance. So we might do something like give me a high five in the air, and I say, but don't touch me. But we still do it in the air.
Okay, now for those of you who are watching, we're family, so we're sitting here, so don't worry about the social distance. And we have our masks too. Want y'all know we got our masks.
Still safe.
Now ladies, I know you have kids in class, because when I was coming along, you always had kids in class who were doing things that were kind of humorous, kind of funny. I can imagine what it's like, with kids behind the camera watching and doing this thing virtual. Has anything unusual, kind of humorous, that you looked at and said, okay.
Didn't you have an unusual experience the other day? You want to share that with us?
Unusual experiences. I have kids who join the class meeting and they're outside. Hey, where you at? Oh, I'm walking home from my friend's house, but I'm in class, Miss Glenn, because I'm in the meeting. And then I've had an instance where I had a student join my class meeting in the car. I'm like, where you at, honey? Oh, I gotta go run to the grocery store for my mama. Like, okay, but you still in class, we got work to do. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna leave class and come back, and then I'm gonna get on my laptop when we get home.
But they never come back to turn into work.
Never come back to turn into work.
They don't. No.
Does that affect their grades?
Yes.
Now I can imagine with that kind of stuff going on. Now parents are wondering, well, why did my kid not get a good grade? I mean, does that happen? And how is he going to get a grade? And he was at the grocery store. I mean, come on.
But you gotta find a polite way to tell the parent the student was in the class meeting, but they still have to turn the work in for a grade.
Or
so it's okay for them to go to the grocery store because they're in the meeting still, but once they leave the grocery store, they still have to come home and turn that assignment in after they complete it.
But then they walk away from the camera.
Yes.
Because now they're at home, they're in their comfort spot. They would get up. I had some students that actually turned the meeting on, got up from the table and started fixing cereal.
She was cooking breakfast with the camera on up.
And with the situation that we're in with the pandemic, now it's to the point where we have to, for the meetings, it's a participation grade. So how am I going to give you a grade if you're not participating? You're not there.
Well,
you just have not answering questions because they've left the table. So I'm looking at a table and not a student.
And people say, that's crazy. Because I remember when I was coming along, we would sneak off campus, at lunchtime, go to the store and get something. But to actually, I guess that's the marvel of technology. To actually supposed to be in class, but I'm at the restaurant, at the grocery store, or I'm cooking breakfast. That's next level for me right now. So now I know you don't have that problem though with the little ones.
Yes, we do.
Oh wow.
Yes, sometimes we do. I do have a student as well, Carlinda, who will join the meeting. And I like to have my children to be involved, so I do ask them questions. I'll have them to write something and show it so I can see it. And this one particular student, I never see anything from them. I will pull names from a bag to get them involved and pull that student name and hear no response. So yes, we see it as well.
Wow. And she teaches 5-year-olds now. It blows my mind sometimes. Okay, now, I am a parent. I have one in elementary school or primary or high school or middle school. And, you know, I know it's new for you guys, but it's new for me too. I mean, this is a whole new arena. I'm not used to doing this. I'm used to sending them to you, and I will do the best I can to help them, you know, when they come home. But for the most part, I am dependent on you. But now a lot of this is on me, the parent. Now, Rochelle, I know that you help the teachers at your school using Teams, which is the platform that you use is to try to get this thing over to the children virtually. And so, do you have any tips for me as a parent? And, you know, what can I do to make the best of this experience for my child?
Tip number 1, be patient, be supportive, and be understanding. This is a new world that we are living in during this educational season. Teach is new to the teachers. It's also new to you. But please be understanding that it is new to the educators as well. We may not have everything perfect, but it is a working process. That's the best way I can put it. It is a working process. We are always taught to modify and adjust. Please know that what did not work today, it will probably change so that we can try a solution tomorrow. So be patient. Also be understanding and know that it is technology. Technology is not perfect. It's not perfect. It does break down. So you have to understand that as well. And don't be afraid to ask for help. If you're not good with technology, don't be afraid to call that teacher or to call the school to get the support that you need so that you can give your child the support that they need. Tip number 2, get familiar with the platform. Whether it's Microsoft Teams or if it's Google Classroom or if it's Schoology, get familiar with whatever platform your child's district is using. They are all different. Play around with it, learn it, know where everything is so that you will know where to find what you need for that student. You will know where to find the tests. You will know where to find the assessments. You will know where to find the assignments. So that way your child will not get behind. Also, understand the makeup of the different models that we are in. We just came out of 100% virtual. Now most of the schools are in hybrid, so understand what that means. Understand if your child is cohort A or if they're in cohort B. Know what days that particular cohort is supposed to come to school. So that way you can have your child at the school when they're supposed to be so that they will get that attendance. Also understand that the days that they're not in school, they are still responsible for that work. That's where it comes important in knowing the platform that your district is using so that you will know how to find that learning pathway for your child. Some teachers also put it in a calendar so that you will know what's expected of your child each day they log into their classroom. Also, understand your teacher's expectations. Every teacher has a different expectation for their class. Understand and know when everything is due. Understand and know when your students' teachers' office hours are. Also know how to get in touch with them.
They are virtual. They still have to log into class to be counted for attendance for the State Department's attendance.
That's true. And I would also say that to our parents that we appreciate your positive feedback because it helps us as we navigate through this new norm.
So I want to thank you guys. That brings us to, the conclusion of our time together, our conversation. I want to thank these three, some of the most important ladies in my life. I have a couple of other important ones from granddaughters who would be remiss if granddaddy said that I wasn't important. So I want to thank them. I want to thank you guys for joining us, and I hope that this has not only been inspiring and informative, but I hope that it has also been a great blessing to you and your family. God bless you.